Okay, fine. So now, okay, now, okay, so I was discussing MS-DOS program. So MS-DOS program is available in two locations in the TPA memory area. One is at 01160H and the other is at the 9FFF0H. This is only 16 bytes. That is, if you see the difference between, if you see the difference between these two address, it is only 16 bytes. Okay. Another area consists of another area where MS-DOS is program is available. It is a little bigger space. Okay. So let us look into that. So it's available in two locations. One is at the one area is at the top of the TPA. That is somewhere here. Okay, which is of 16 bytes of location. Where it is this? Okay, 16 bytes of location, and it is located at the top of the TPA. Okay, the other is much larger, and it is located at the bottom. Okay, this space is a little larger compared to the other one. Okay, so this is located at the bottom TPA. Okay, guys. Now next is driver software. Okay, so this driver software, you know, yeah. So somewhere here, driver softwares change the from computer. Say that is number of drivers change varies from system to system. Okay, these driver softwares are nothing but programs that control the installable IO devices such as CD-ROM, mouse, etc. Okay, so for example, whenever we connect a the external device to the system, the system should identify the device for which we make use of drivers. Yes, for example, whenever we purchase one, let's say, a printer, they'll give the software, a device driver software CD. If you install it, the printer will be recognized by the system. Okay, so that's nothing but the device driver software. It has programs which can which helps us in communicating between the external device and the PC or the system generally. Okay, so the drivers are normally files that have an extension of .sys. Okay, and next is command.com. Somewhere here, command.com. Okay, so uh, okay, so what is this command.com? Okay, this command.com is a command processor controls the operation of the computer from the keyboard. Okay, so that means this you have seen this command prompt. This I'll show you this. I think you have seen this command prompt in the system. This command prompt in the system, command prompt available in all versions of operating system. Like for example, Windows, all types of operating system, Windows, Linux, for example, Apple or Mac systems. Okay, so this is what is known as command prompt. This what is this command prompt does is it will take the input from the user through the keyboard. For example, I can change the directory. Okay, I can check what are the files in the directory. I can change the directory. For example, let's say change directory to new folder. Okay, so you can change the folder. Okay, so it takes the input from the keyboard. Okay, that is what is known as that is the function of a what is known as command.com. Okay, so this now in the TPA memory, the left out space. This is the free space. Okay, this space holds application programs as they are executed. This, for example, let us say I run a spreadsheet, for example. Okay, the spreadsheet program is copied into this space, free space, and it is run. Okay, and let us say I finished spreadsheet. Run one more application. That program is copied here. It will be run by the operating system. Okay, on the processor. So that this is a free space which is used to run the applications or what is known as programs. Okay, so also application programs as they are executed, these application program include like for example word processor, spreadsheet. Okay, simple programs. These applications are run in the free space of a TPA memory. Yes, okay. Yes, let us now quickly look into the system area. Okay, this system area contains programs either in ROM space or in the RAM space. Yes, as I said, flash is a type of ROM memory, and nowadays there is not much of a difference between ROM memory and the RAM memory. They are function wise, the performance wise they are almost same. Okay, the only difference will be in terms of capacity. Otherwise, from in terms of speed wise, they are they are same. There's not much of a difference. Okay, So length of this system area is approximately 384 kilobytes. You can see that in this diagram. So the system area is approximately 384 kilobytes. Together it will be 1 megabytes in a 8086 processor. Okay. Okay, now the first area of this. Okay, so it's somewhere here. This is the system area. Okay, so various components of a system area. This is what we can observe here is this the the TPM memory closes at the address 9F FFH, and the system area starts at the address A000H, that is immediately next memory location, and it extends up to maximum of FFH location. So together it's going to be totally 1 megabyte memory. Okay, so that's how it is. For explanation purpose, they have given separate diagrams. So first area space contains video display. Okay, so let us look into the diagram. It has video RAM, that is video display, driver softwares. Okay, it has a data program, which are used to run, which are used to interface, video codecs to the system. Okay, so that's known as video RAM. So it has two areas. One is text area and the what is known as graphic area. This don't worry, don't think, this is just a basics. Let us not go into detail. So if you are not able to understand, it's okay. So generally we should understand what are the components available. Okay, so the system area also has a video BIOS ROM or disk, and it has free space where we can run the applications, basic language ROM, and what is known as BIOS system ROM. Okay, so it's available in these locations. So the location is also given. Okay, yes, for example, VGA, variable graphics adapter, is used to interface the hardware to support graphic display in the system. Okay, similarly we have so this helps in controlling the video display. Okay, so for rendering purpose we require a VGA adapters. Okay, so similarly we have system area. Similarly, what are the other memory locations? For example, in expanded memory system, there is this for the advanced processor. Expanded memory system is for the advanced processor. Okay, BIOS RAM located at this address. Okay, so RAM controls the operation of the basic IO devices connected to the computer system. Okay, so it does not control the operation of video. Okay, yes, anyway, so each a module has a variable function. It is listed here. Okay, yes, now see, many things are new to us, like for example VGA. So all these are new. CGA, for example, color graphics adapter, all these are new. But generally we should understand what is the various content of a these memory areas, like for example TPM memory area, and what is known as you know system area. And the content of this memory varies from processor to processor. Okay, what we saw here. Okay, it varies from processor to processor. It will not be same for all the processor. For example, not all the processor will have a VGA adapter. Okay, so depending on the processor, the content of the this memory varies. Okay, content of this memory varies. Okay, so I wanted to give a glance of the basic idea of the memory. That's why I discussed this topic. Okay, fine. Yes, next let us look into the this 886 processor. We will start with the architecture of a 886 processor. We'll discuss in details later. So first let us start with the architecture of a processor. Okay, so architecture of 886 processor. Let us quickly jump into the architecture of a processor, because we have a little detailed discussion of architecture. These are the pin details, of 886 processor. Okay, fine. This next topic is 886 CPU architecture. So let me look. Okay, memory map. Okay, yes, I wanted to see any topic points I missed from this one. Okay, this is okay. There's not much of a points here. Let us look into 886 architecture. Okay, yes, now in this 886 architecture, this diagram is not that clear. Let us look into this one. This is somewhat better. Let us look into this one. Okay. Okay, this 886 architecture basically has two components. What is known as one is known as bus interface unit (BIU), okay, and another one is known as execution unit. Okay, bus interface unit and a execution unit. So, what are the contents of bus interface unit and execution unit? Because you can see that bus interface unit has what is known as segment registers. Okay, they are extra segment, code segment, stack segment, and data segment. Yes, we'll look into detail of these segments in the memory. And it has instruction pointer IP, and it has what is known as adder, and it has what is known as instruction queue. Okay, so let us look into this detail now. So then we'll come to the other execution unit part of the processor. Okay, so now 886 has the architecture has two parts: bus interface unit and what is known as execution unit. Uh, this bus interface unit has segment registers. Okay, adder. So and okay, this now and instruction fetch queue. Okay, so this what is the purpose of this adder? The adder is used to generate 20-bit address from 16-bit address because the size of the memory is 20-bit address. Okay, it's just now we understood that to access the memory internal the memory of 886 processor, we require 20-bit address, but the content but the address size of the 886 processor is only 16-bit. To convert the address from 16-bit to 20-bit, we use a what is known as a adder. What the adder you can see. So that is used to convert 16-bit address into 16-bit address stored in this segment register into 20-bit address. How does it do? We'll understand now. Okay. 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 Just now. Now let us say yeah. So once the here we go. Once the address is sent out of that is 20-bit address sent out of bus interface unit, the instruction and data bytes are fetched from the memory. That is 20-bit address is generated by the processor or bus interface unit. It is sent to the memory. So the memory management unit will fetch the instruction and data bytes from the memory and stores it in the first in first out type of memory, which is a 6-byte queue or cache memory. Yes, that you can see here. Let me open this diagram, this slide. Okay, fine. This can you see this 6-byte queue? In this 6-byte queue, the instructions and data fetched from the memory whose address is 20-bit, which is generated using this combination of segment registers and added and adder are stored in this 6-byte first in first out instruction queue. Why say 6 bytes? Why not 10? Why not 20? That depends on type of processor. 886 has only 6 bytes. First of and the question is why 6 bytes location is required? Why we cannot directly send from the memory to processor execution unit is because if you can prefetch from the memory, because we know that the external memory is very slow, so thereby better to first fetch from the external memory and store it in the internal memory so that processor can execute at a faster rate. With that intention, we have a separate cache memory or queue memory, and it's of the size 6. That is, it can store maximum of 6 bytes, or it can be a instruction or it can be a program. Okay. Okay. Because now let us look into this. Okay. So now in this okay. So now let us look into the content of a execution unit. What is the content of a execution unit? This execution unit mainly consists of okay these registers. See, these are called as CPU registers. Okay, it's just like in 8051 we have a, single the register, two registers, CPU registers. They are accumulator and B register. But 8086 has more registers. They are called as AX, AX. This I'll show it in here. Okay, so 886 has various registers, CPU registers. They are called as AX, which is divided into AH and AL. It has BX. Okay. Similarly, this is also divided into BL and BH, that we can see from this diagram, BH and BL. Next, we have CX, which is divided into CH and CL, DX, which is divided into DH and DL. It's just like in 8051, there are only two registers, A and B. Okay. In 8086, there are four registers. They are called as A, B, C, D. Out of this, A stands for accumulator. BCD is just the name of the other registers. So these are 16-bit registers which are divided into two registers, each are of 1 byte size. Okay, they're called as AL and AH. For example, AL is accumulator low and AH is accumulator high. Similarly, BX, the second register is BX, so it is called as BL and BH. So BL is 8 bit and BH is 8 bit. So BL is B register low and BH is B register high. Similarly, we have CH and CL, DH and DL. Okay, so this is the CPU registers. Along with that, we have some other registers called as, for example, SP stack pointer, BP base pointer, source in SI source index, and DA is called as destination index. Okay, so these are the 8 registers, CPU registers available in 8086 processors. Okay, fine. This is the part of execution unit. Other than this I think time. Okay, another 5 minutes. Okay, this I'll wind up. No problem. Okay, so the execution unit also has what is known as arithmetic logic unit. This hardware is responsible for executing the arithmetic and logical instructions. Okay, so this takes operands. Okay, that is, it takes the data and instruction for execution purpose, and this in turn will affect some flags. Just like in 8086, we have program status word, like for example, zero flag, parity flag, carry flag, auxiliary carry flag. Similarly, 8086 has set of flags. So these flags are affected, sorry, based on the operation done by the ALU system on the various operands. This operands includes data as well as instruction, and the result is stored back to the memory. The result is stored back to the memory. This can be sent to the external memory, okay, or it can be stored in the internal memory. Okay, so thereby this is a complete picture of what is known as, the CPU architecture. Yes, in this case, what are the other things what we see is memory interface. This, what is the size of this memory? 1 megabyte. Okay, so we interface the CPU to the or 8086 processor to IC to the memory interface unit or memory device. Okay. Next, it has C bus, that is control bus. This control bus is responsible for carrying the control signals. Okay. So next we have data bus. This data bus or address bus. This address bus is responsible for carrying the address. This address bus and the data bus is multiplexed so that the same lines carries the address as well as data lines. Okay, and it has what is known as control system. This control system is responsible for uh, 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 controlling the operation of the entire system. That is interfacing this bus interface unit and the execution unit. Bus interface unit basically generates 20-bit address and fetches the instruction and data from the external memory of 1 megabyte size, store it in the internal temporary location instruction queue, and this time is okay. Okay, and the execution unit will fetch the instructions and data from the execution queue into the internal memory. There is internal CPU registers, for example, AX, BX, CX, and DX. Okay, and it will be executed by the arithmetic logic unit. Okay, generate the result, and the result is stored back to internal memory or external memory. Okay, so that's how the 8086 operates. Okay, so this is the basic architecture of a 8086 processor. Okay, fine. Yes, next class we'll continue with this discussion. So we have to discuss a little more about the data segments and these CPU registers. That is this AX. Yes, this is what I was explaining. the AX, BX, CX, and AX. Is these two are wrong? It's not B, it's BH and CH. It is wrongly printed here. So this I'll correct. Okay. And it has other CPU registers, like for example, stack pointer register, breakpoint. Okay. Source index registers and destination index register. It has what is known as status registers. Okay. So we'll discuss all this in detail. It also has a what is known as a instruction pointer. Okay, so it is a 16-bit address converted into 20-bit address, and we'll look in little more detail about the the segments of a memory. Okay, so the memory is divided into basically code segment, data segment, stack segment, and extra segment. That is 1 megabyte memory is divided into various memory spaces. Each memory segment is of the size 64 kilobyte. Yes, for example, code segment is used to store the instructions. The size of this segment is 64 kilobyte. See, one segment itself is around 64 kilobyte. Okay, it's very huge memory. Similarly, we have data segment used to store the data, 64 kilobytes. Stack segment for stack memory of the size 64 kilobyte. And for additional storage space, the processor provides what is known as extra segment, and this is of the size 64 kilobytes. Okay, fine. Yes, anyway, we'll discuss more on this in the next class. Okay, we'll continue with this. Okay, okay, it's fine. Anyway, thanks for joining. Okay, sorry for the initial, unavailability of audio. I didn't notice, and I didn't get any input from your side, so I thought everything is okay. Anyway, so we'll continue. We'll continue in the next class. Thanks for joining. See you. Bye. Yes, in the beginning, if you don't get an audio, please inform me, because I must have changed the audio device. So suddenly I may not notice. So better to inform me in the beginning if you're not getting audio. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Thank you. See you. Good day. Happy weekend. Bye.